Do you feel nervous presenting in English? Maybe you know your topic well, or very well, but once the presentation starts, your confidence suddenly drops. You worry about making mistakes, forgetting words, sounding unprofessional, or freezing in front of other people. The truth is, confident presenters are not always the best English speakers. Very often, they simply use clear professional phrases that help them sound calm, organized, and confident. So, in today's lesson, you're going to learn practical English phrases that professionals use during presentations every day at work. These phrases will help you sound more professional, present more clearly, and communicate with more confidence in English. Okay, let's begin. Welcome and welcome back to Mastering English Communications. I am Coach Theo, your business English coach, and today's topic is going to be what confident professionals say during presentations. So, no secret here. Professional English phrases are going to be extremely beneficial for workplace presentations where you're presenting to a group that is communicating in English. You, by understanding these phrases that I'm going to share with you today, you're going to be more clear, you're going to be more structured, and you're going to be more confident. Let's dive right in. So, why presenting in English feels stressful? Well, presenting in English feels very different from having a normal conversation in English, or you may feel the same type of stress in your native language. So let's take a look at why. The first is you want to know your topic, right? And professionals know their topic extremely well, but they still feel nervous when presenting in English publicly. And that's because public speaking adds pressure for everyone in any language. Fear of mistakes, worrying about errors and it chips away at your confidence. And stress changes everything because speaking under pressure feels very different from a normal conversation. Our minds recognize that we're doing something different, so it's on alert, basically. But we're going to learn how to handle that. So let's continue. So confident presenters, they use structure. They rely on structure instead of trying to sound impressive. That's very key. They guide the audience clearly. They use transition phrases. They simplify their language and they speak calmly. So by guiding your audience, you're using a structure that helps listeners follow your ideas. This is going to be key. Simple language. Well, while you may have extensive education, unless you're presenting to an advanced audience, science, academia, or something else that would require very advanced language, keep it simple. Short, clear phrases land better than complex sentences. Transition phrases. Smooth transitions signal you are in control. So you want to practice those and pause naturally. Silence shows confidence, not weakness. So just notice these phrases. Today, I'd like to discuss, or let's begin with, or the key takeaway is. These phrases help organize your presentation and make you sound more professional immediately. Structure creates confidence. Now let's take a look at opening your presentation. And you want to do it professionally, obviously. And simple phrases can immediately make you sound very calm, very organized, and very prepared. Good morning, everyone. Very straightforward. Thank you for being here today. Today, I'd like to discuss. Okay, let's begin. So, professional communication is usually very simple, very clear, and very direct. Now, you want to introduce your main idea clearly. Start strong. And the phrases I'm going to share with you here will tell your audience exactly what to expect. The purpose of today's presentation is today we'll focus on. I'll walk you through. Here's a quick overview. So these are excellent phrases. They will help reduce confusion, help your audience follow your presentation much more easily. And clear structure also makes you feel more confident while speaking. If you're finding this information useful so far, please do give us a like. Thank you. Now we want to do something called guiding our audience. One major difference between weak presenters and confident presenters is transitions. Transitions guide the audience smoothly from one idea to another. And very simply, transitions signal a new section is coming, keeping everyone on track and then re-alerting people that there's some new information of some type that's getting ready to be shared. Let's move to the next point. Now let's look at, this brings us to, next, I'd like to discuss very simple phrases, but without transitions, presentations can feel disconnected and very confusing. Transitions create flow. Explain ideas more clearly. So when your audience looks confused, these phrases will help you reset and clarify. Many professionals believe they need complicated English to sound intelligent. Totally not true. Actually, clear communication sounds more professional. So let's look at this first phrase, in simple terms. This signals you're about to make something easier to understand. Next, what this means is translates technical ideas into plain language. Next, let me give an example. Examples make abstract ideas concrete and memorable. To put it another way, offers a second explanation without repeating yourself. Okay. Very important. So these phrases help your audience understand you more easily. And remember, clarity is one of the strongest signs of confidence. Now let's look at something else, presenting charts and data, or what I like to call data language. So before we begin, presenting numbers and charts is very common workplace. Uh, it's a very common workplace activity, and that skill is needed. So when discussing data and professional uh, and other types of information, professional presenters guide the audience clearly. As you can see, this is a great phrase. This chart shows. The data suggests there was a significant increase. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, these are very simple phrases. Remember, you do not need advanced vocabulary to sound confident. Now, of course, you want to keep your audience's attention, and confident presenters do more than share information. They manage audience attention. So let's take a look at some professional engagement phrases. Think about this for a moment. Why does this matter? Let's look at a real example. Here's the key point. Once again, simple phrases, but these phrases help your audience stay focused and connected to your message. Replace weak English with stronger English. So small word changes make a very big difference in how confident you sound. For example, instead of using instead of, maybe, I think, I'm not sure, but. So instead of using these phrases, maybe, I think, I'm not sure, but, say this instead. One important point is the key takeaway is based on the data. Ah, okay. So why? Because the second set of phrases, they're much stronger, they sound more confident to an English speaker, and they're more professional. Q&A phrases or question and answer. At some point, you may have to answer audience questions. So how will you handle those? And many professionals feel nervous during question and answer section, but professional presenters do not panic when questions come. That's a great question. This buys you a second to gather your thoughts. Let me clarify. Someone may be asking something that you presented, and so you just want to make sure that they understood what you said by clarifying it. What I mean is, let me explain the difference. You do not need perfect answers. You simply need calm and professional communication. Respond calmly and professionally. So this next set of phrases, they show respect, composure, and professionalism, even when the question is tough. Because sometimes audiences ask difficult or unexpected questions. That's normal. Strong presenters stay calm and professional. How do they do that? They use phrases such as, that's an important concern. This validates the question without dismissing it. I understand your point. Shows you are listening actively. And anyone that's been following my work knows that I emphasize active listening. Let me think about that. Buying a moment to think is perfectly professional. It shows you care. I'll follow up with more information. Honest and reliable. Never guess if you don't know. Someone may actually know and realize this person is not professional or knowledgeable. So professionalism matters more than perfection. Now, there's something I call recovery phrases. Every presenter makes mistakes sometimes. Confident professionals do not panic when mistakes happen. So you can recover calmly when you make mistakes. And why? Everyone makes mistakes. These phrases help you recover with grace. Let me rephrase that. What I meant to say was, let me clarify. Let's go back for a moment. Confidence comes from recovery, not perfection. Strong endings leave a strong impression. So a professional closing is key. So let me share some phrases with you that will allow you to close your presentation in a very professional and strong manner. To summarize, the key takeaway is, thank you for your time. I appreciate your attention. So these are important and they're simple. Once again, keep it simple. A clear ending helps your audience remember your message and leaves you sounding organized and professional. Now let's look at 5 habits that confident presenters use consistently. Speak slower. Slower speech sounds more confident and is easier to follow. Pause naturally. Pauses give your audience time to absorb what you've said. Simplify language. Clear and simple beats complex and confusing every time. I've said this more than once in the presentation for a reason. Practice transitions. Smooth transitions keep your presentation flowing naturally. Focus on clarity. Your audience needs to understand, not be impressed, at least in the wrong way. Let's do a English review here, presentation review. These 5 phrases cover every stage of a professional presentation. Move forward. Let's move forward. Highlight. Here's the key point. Show data. As you can see, explain. What this means is, and the close. To summarize. So these are very important. These are exactly the kinds of phrases professionals use during presentations every day. The more you practice them, the more natural and confident you will sound. So here's your challenge. Small daily habits make the biggest difference over time. So practice aloud daily. If you're reading something, then practice saying the words out loud and pronouncing them correctly. It does a lot for your confidence, but also lets you hear the sound of your own voice pronouncing the words. So you're getting reinforcement. And your mouth and your brain will work better together. Record yourself. Watching playback reveals what you need to improve fast. Use 3 phrases this week. Pick 3 phrases from this lesson and use them in a real meeting. There's no secret, right? You're getting better and better, so you need to use phrases. So pick 3 that you're going to use this week. And remember, clarity over perfection. Being understood matters more than sounding perfect. Confidence grows through practice and repetition. Continue improving your professional English. You've completed this lesson. Keep practicing. Every presentation builds your confidence. And next up, we have sound more professional in work emails. The next step in mastering English communication series. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. It helps us help you as we continue our linguistic adventure together.